Good evening. Just mentioned a few honorees, and there are more chiefs and Indians here. So first of all, retired Deputy Supreme Court President, Justice Professor Eliakim Rubinstein. Chairman of the Jewish Agency, Tzchak Herzog. Deputy Attorney General for International Affairs, Dr. Ray Scheindorf. Dean of the Faculty of Law of Tel Aviv University, Professor Sharon Hanes, and many, there are more deans here, I think. Deputy CEO and General Counsel of the World Jewish Congress, Menachem Rosenthal. Ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corpus, my predecessors, my friend Alex Hartman, and our President Emeritus, Irit Khan. All the executive committee members, board members, employees, and members of the IJL, this is our new brand, and dear guests. It is a great honor for me to open the celebration marking the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the International Association of Jewish Lawyers and Jurists. The association was founded by three legal Jewish giants, each special in on his way: Arthur Goldberg, Chaim Cohen, and René Cassin, of blessed memory. Each of them was a patriot in his own native land, in the United States of America, in Israel, and in France, respectively. They were fighters for universal human rights, but on the same time, they were proud Jews and Zionists. They decided to establish an organization to fight anti-Semitism, but not at the expense of fighting human rights. For the rights of each individual as individual, I'm proud to continue this prestigious dynasty. Between the three founders of the association and myself, there have been three presidents: Justice Hadassah Benito, of blessed memory, who served as a president over 2 decades, and who is known in particular for her research entitled "The Lie That Refuses to Die" on the protocols of the Elders of Zion. Then my friend Advocate Alex Hartman and our Emeritus President Advocate Irit Khan, may they enjoy many more healthy years. When I was elected as the president of the association, barely 2 years ago, anti-Semitism appeared to be on the decline, especially anti-Semitic acts of violence. But over the last 2 years, we have witnessed a dramatically worrying increase in the anti-Semitic activity in Europe and in the United States, including violent and murderous acts against Jews, synagogues, and Jewish organizations. We can try to analyze the reason why anti-Semitism is on the rise, especially at this time. Perhaps it's due to the increase of nationalism and populism. It was mistaken and naive to think that this phenomena, which encountered wave of xenophobia and Islamophobia, would pass the Jews without incident. Even before violent physical anti-Semitic attacks took place, we saw an increase in anti-Semitic incitement on the net and the media, not only from individuals, but also with encouragement of public institutions and governments. This activity, as we condemn, was by itself led directly to physical acts of violence against Jews. We can never reconcile with such behavior, aware as we are that sickening anti-Semitic beliefs led to the greatest crime in the history of humanity, the destruction of Jews in Europe. We cannot accept that soft anti-Semitism falls within the boundaries of freedom of speech. Anti-Semitism represents travesty of free speech. It is true that many terrible things happen in the world every day, but that does not mean that acts of antisemitism that fall short of violence should be treated lightly and should not be stamped out. It should never be possible for hatred to lead to a crime as serious as destruction of people. We see worrying trend of attempts to deny the legitimacy of the State of Israel under the cloak of criticism of Israeli government policy. When this criticism is merely a smokescreen for denying the legitimacy of the State of Israel, especially when such criticism is exaggerated and disproportional, it becomes the most dangerous of all forms of antisemitism, since it undermines the very foundation of the national home of the Jewish people. In this regard, the Islamic Republic of Iran stands out. Iran is the only state in the world which is so extreme in denying the existence of another state, Israel, based on ideology which without doubt would lead to Israel's destruction if only they could make this happen. It is a mistake to focus only on Iran's attempts to develop nuclear weapons or long-range missiles. The central aim of Iranian regime is destroy of the State of Israel, just as central aim of the Nazi regime was to destroy Jewish people. Therefore, there is no place for any dealings of any nature with Iran until it totally abandons this ideology. In respect, how do we view the dealings of those nations which traded with Nazi Germany and before the Second World War, even during the Second World War? This is the same way that we should look at the case of Iran. Association will use all our capabilities in focus on this issue. My main realization during my first year as president of the association was that it is not enough to focus on advocacy alone. In order to justify our name and our reputation, we must, as a legal organization, wage war through legal means against anti-Semitism by promoting significant legal and legislative measures, and no less important, by fighting a legal battle against any and every occurrence of anti-Semitism. For this purpose, we set within our organization the Center for War Against Anti-Semitism through the legal means. The jewel in the crown, our most outstanding achievement, has been the legal battle against what is known as the Polish law. We filed an application against the law in the Constitutional Court in Poland. Portions of the law remain on the statute book, notwithstanding the agreement between Poland and Israel, and we are continuing our struggle. I also highlight the complaint which we submitted to ICC in The Hague against the Palestinian Authority in respect of payment of salaries and pension to prisoners and members of the families of Shahidim martyrs, since this activity constitutes direct encouragement of violent and murderous acts against Jews. We successfully fought against the International Chess Association, which bowed down to a boycott of Israeli chess players on the part of Saudi Arabia. We fought against anti-Semitism on the part of individuals and institutions in Poland. We have fought with great success against online incitement in Germany, and we're building a platform for war against anti-Semitic incitement in France as well. This is just a drop in the ocean of what is necessary, but the legal war against anti-Semitism, the train has left the station and it's rushing forward his way. We are increasing our cooperation with other Jewish organizations, such as the Jewish Agency, the World Jewish Congress, as well as with the Israeli government bodies and other institutions, including the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, the Ministry of Justice, the Foreign Ministry, the Begin Heritage Center, Cantor Center at the Tel Aviv University, and others. Association survives mainly on contributors from the donors, and I thank those who support us and make our important activity possible. I will not mention all the names, but I want to mention Irena Neveslin, that host of this evening. Thank you very much to the family and to the Diaspora House. Lawyers, both Jewish and non-Jewish, in various countries are acting further the purpose of our association, sometimes on entirely voluntary basis and on other times on subsidized basis, and we're grateful for them. We are above all organization established to defend human rights, and we will not accept any crimes against other people or religions. In that regard, I'm proud that one of my first activities that I instigated as president was to raise the issue at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva of the mass killing of the Muslim minority in Myanmar, the Rohingya tribe. Finally, I would like to thank all those who have worked hard to bring about this evening and the convention as a whole. Irit Khan, Ronit Gidron Tzemach, Mala Tavori, Iris, Ronit Gidron mentioned, and Iris Padan Zilberman, and Avraham Etzur that made this beautiful film. Apologies for anyone that I didn't mention. I wish all of you a pleasant evening and a good conference. Thank you.